Maybe some of you have seen the chart of the performance that we have had, and there are two things I'll say about that. One is the performance is very good, but the other is very volatile. And therefore, that's another reason why, please do your own due diligence and be very careful on making sure you do that. Let's talk about our update with silver. Again, we're talking heavily about the impact of the war, and so far, the normal situation, if you can cause something in war, use the word normal, would be that the outbreak of a war would cause both gold and silver to move up higher, because people would say, oh, with the uncertainty, including the uncertainty of various national currencies, even including the dollar, compared to what happens, then gee, I think I'd rather have more of my assets in gold and silver because of their traditional role as being money. But this has not happened in case of the war with Iran. So that's a question, as I've said very recently. I think there's so much uncertainty about what the result of the war will be. You can look at, on the one hand, all of the positive, from the standpoint of military strength, positive results the Americans and Israelis are saying in terms of how much damage they have done to Iran. But on the other hand, Iran is an enormous nation. It's over 600,000 square miles. You've got close to 90 million people. You have a very strong Islamic, not only Islamic tradition, but the Shia type of Islam in Iran, which can be a very strong support for the current government continuing. And so there are a lot of factors going both ways, and I would say that you got to be careful on silver. But overall, our main themes with silver, that we have both a shortage of silver in terms of delivery from the COMEX in terms of silver futures on the one hand, and we also have a continuing massive increase in the purchases of silver for two main reasons. One reason is over in China and India, those central banks are buying enormous amounts of silver on the one hand, and the second major reason is that the industrial demand for things like data centers and solar cells, etc., is continuing very strong and should continue to be strong for several more years. And those are factors that I think will cause a strong increase in silver over time. And so therefore, despite the vagaries of war, we continue to have our strong feeling that silver is a great way to invest. And within the silver complex, we continue to have a very strong support for a number of our silver miners. If you want a copy of my book, The Speculator's Mosaic, just check below, or it can also be bought on Amazon.